Hey everyone, and welcome back to the show. Today, Angelina and I are diving into a topic that genuinely changed my perspective on, well, everything. The incredible power of tiny changes and how they compound over time. It's like a secret superpower most people totally overlook.
Oh, I am so excited for this, Adon. It's one of those ideas that sounds almost too simple to be true, but once you grasp it, it really shifts how you think about personal growth, business, even relationships. We're talking about that famous 1% improvement concept, right?
Exactly. That precise concept. Imagine this. If you improve by just 1% every single day for a year, by the end of it, you're not just 365% better, you're actually almost 38 times better than when you started. That's 1.01 raised to the power of 365, which comes out to roughly 37.78. It's mind-blowing when you see the math.
38 times better. That's insane. And it really highlights the flip side too, doesn't it? If you get just 1% worse every day, you end up with almost nothing left. It's 0.99 to the power of 365, which is like 0.03, practically zero. It makes you realize how critical those small daily decisions are.
Totally. Most people, myself included for a long time, tend to overestimate the impact of one defining moment. Like, oh, I just need that big break. And completely underestimate the power of those tiny, seemingly insignificant 1% decisions we make every single day. It's the cumulative effect that really counts.
It's so true. I mean, we all want the instant gratification, right? We want to wake up one day and suddenly be a marathon runner or have written a book. But the reality is, it's the daily run, the daily page count, that gets you there. What's that incredible example from the book about the British cycling team?
Oh, that's a classic. It's a perfect illustration of this aggregation of marginal gains philosophy. Back in 2003, British cycling was, frankly, a bit of a joke. They were almost useless, constantly in last place. Then they hired Dave Brailsford as the performance director, and he brought in this idea: improve everything by just 1%.
Everything, meaning not just the training or the bikes, but literally everything?
Absolutely everything. From obvious things like optimizing bike seats, making them more aerodynamic, and improving nutrition plans, to really granular details like experimenting with different tire pressures, teaching riders the best way to wash their hands to avoid illness, even choosing specific pillow types for better sleep. And here's one I love. They painted the inside of the team truck floor white, so mechanics could more easily spot tiny bits of dirt or debris that might affect the bikes.
Wait, the color of the truck floor, that's commitment. That's taking aggregation of marginal gains to an extreme, but in the best way possible. And what was the result of all these tiny 1% improvements?
The results were absolutely staggering. Between 2007 and 2017, British cyclists went from being nobodies to dominating the sport. They won 178 world championships, 66 Olympic and Paralympic gold medals, and 5 Tour de France titles, all from focusing on those tiny 1% improvements day in and day out.
That's incredible. It's such a powerful story because it shows that those breakthrough moments we often celebrate, they're rarely overnight successes. They're usually the culmination of countless small actions building up, like latent potential, for a long, long time.
Exactly, like the ice cube analogy. The ice cube doesn't melt until it reaches 32 degrees Fahrenheit, but every degree of temperature increase before that point was absolutely necessary. You don't see the change immediately, but it's happening, building up beneath the surface. It's a fantastic metaphor for why we need to trust the process.
Trust the process. That leads us perfectly into another huge concept, something that distinguishes those who achieve big things from those who just dream about them: the difference between goals and systems.
Oh, this is probably one of the most transformative ideas from James Clear. Most of us are obsessed with goals, right? I want to lose 10 kilograms. I want to write a book. I want to run a marathon. Those are all fantastic goals. But Clear argues that focusing solely on goals is actually a trap.
Right, because winners and losers can have the exact same goals, right? Like every athlete at the Olympics has the goal of winning a gold medal, but only one gets it. So the goal isn't what differentiates them.
Precisely. The difference isn't the goal, it's the system they follow. A system is the process that leads to the result. So, instead of lose 10 kilograms, the system is track calories daily or exercise 3 times a week. Instead of write a book, it's write 300 words every morning. If you want better results, you actually need to fall in love with the process, not the outcome.
That's such a tough pill to swallow for so many people, myself included. We're conditioned to aim for the finish line, to celebrate the big win. But what you're saying is, the real win is in consistently showing up for the daily actions that lead you there. It makes so much sense, though. If you don't have the system, the goal is just a wish.
It really is. And this brings us to what I consider the most important concept in all of this: the 3 layers of behavior change. Most people, when they try to change, only operate on the superficial layer.
The superficial layer being the outcomes, I assume?
Exactly. That's the first layer, outcomes. It's all about changing your results. I want to get 6-pack abs. Then there's the second layer, processes. That's changing your habits and systems. I'm going to work out 4 times a week. These are good, but still not the strongest approach.
So what's the third, most powerful layer?
The third and most powerful layer is identity. This is about changing your beliefs about yourself. Instead of focusing on what you want to achieve or even what you want to do, you focus on who you want to become. For example, I want to run a marathon is an outcome. I'm training to become a marathon runner is a process-focused identity. But the strongest is I am a runner. See the difference?
Oh, that's huge. It's an internal shift. It's not just doing the thing, it's being the person who does the thing. I am a runner means that running is part of your core identity, so missing a workout feels like you're not being true to yourself.
Precisely. Every action you take is like a vote for the type of person you wish to become. If you consistently show up for your run, you're casting a vote for being a runner. The more votes you cast, the stronger that identity becomes, and then the behavior just becomes natural. It aligns with who you believe you are.
I love that. So instead of I want to stop smoking, it's I'm not a smoker. Or instead of I'm trying to eat healthy, it's I'm someone who values nutrition. It reframes everything and gives you a much stronger foundation for change.
Exactly. When your behavior and identity align, change becomes effortless. It's not about forcing yourself to do something, it's about acting in accordance with who you already are. Now, to actually implement this, we need to understand how habits work, and that's where the habit loop comes in.
Ah, the 4 steps. This is where the rubber meets the road. So how does a habit actually form in our brains?
It's a neurological loop, essentially. It starts with a cue, that's the trigger. It could be your phone buzzing, seeing a plate of cookies, walking into a specific room. Then comes the craving. This isn't necessarily a craving for the thing itself, but for the feeling or state you expect to get from it. You crave the anticipation of the reward.
So I'm not craving the cookie, I'm craving the comfort or the sugar rush I anticipate from eating it.
Precisely. Then you have the response, which is the actual habit or behavior itself. Picking up your phone, eating the cookie. And finally, the reward. This is the end result that satisfies that initial craving and, crucially, teaches your brain to repeat the process next time the cue appears.
So to build a good habit, we need to optimize all 4 steps. And to break a bad one, we invert them? This is where the 4 laws of behavior change come in, right?
You got it. Let's break down the 4 laws for building good habits and how you can invert them to dismantle bad ones. Law number 1, make it obvious.
Make it obvious. So if I want to work out, put my running shoes right by the door, not hidden in the closet, essentially?
Exactly. That's environment design right there, making good cues obvious and bad cues invisible. Another powerful tactic is called implementation intention. It's scientifically proven to increase success rates by a huge margin. The formula is, I will behavior at time in location.
Like, I will do 10 push-ups at 7:15 a.m. in the bedroom after brushing my teeth. That's super specific.
The specificity removes decision fatigue. You're not deciding if you'll do it or when, you've already decided. And then there's habit stacking from BJ Fogg. After current habit, I will new habit. So after I pour my morning coffee, I will meditate for 60 seconds. You're essentially leveraging an existing habit as a trigger for a new one.
That makes so much sense. It's like building a chain. I already brush my teeth, so linking flossing to that is easy. I'm already sitting down for dinner, so putting my phone in another room at that exact moment becomes easier than trying to decide later.
It rolls them up a process.
And the inversion for bad habits? Make it invisible.
Right. If you're trying to cut down on snacks, don't leave the chips on the counter. Hide them in a high cupboard, or even better, don't buy them at all. Make the cue for the bad habit invisible.
Law number 2. Make it attractive.
Make it attractive.
I struggle with exercise sometimes. It just doesn't feel attractive initially. So how do you make a habit like that more appealing?
Dopamine is key here. It works on anticipation, not just the reward itself. So you need to make the anticipation exciting. One great way is temptation bundling. Only do something you enjoy while you're doing the habit you need to do. For instance, only watch your favorite Netflix show while you're on the treadmill, or only listen to that gripping audiobook during your commute.
Oh, I've tried that. It actually works. It tricks your brain into associating the boring habit with something pleasurable. What about reframing?
Reframing is powerful because it changes your perception. Instead of saying, ugh, I have to exercise, try, I get to exercise. You're shifting from obligation to opportunity. Or, I can't have dessert becomes, I don't eat dessert. Again, tying it to that identity change we talked about.
And the social environment, I imagine, plays a huge role here too. If all your friends are fit and health conscious, it becomes easier for you to adopt those habits because it's the norm.
Absolutely. Joining a group where your desired behavior is the normal thing is one of the strongest influences on habit formation. For bad habits, you invert it. Make it unattractive. Reframe smoking as poisoning myself. Hang out with people who don't smoke.
Right. So law number 3, make it easy. This is probably the one people understand best instinctively.
It makes sense, doesn't it? The path of least resistance. The most important tactic here for beginners is the 2-minute rule. Scale down any habit to something that takes 2 minutes or less to start. So, meditate daily becomes meditate for 120 seconds. Read 30 pages becomes read 1 page.
Oh, that's genius. It's not about the intensity of the habit, it's about mastering the habit of starting. Just get over that initial hump.
Exactly. Once you start, momentum often carries you further. Another key is reduce friction. Sleep in your gym clothes so you don't have to decide what to wear in the morning. Prep your overnight oats the night before. Delete distracting apps from your phone. These are tiny actions that make the good habit flow smoother.
And some of those are one-time actions with infinite payoff, right? Like buying a good water bottle so you drink more water forever, or setting up an auto transfer to your investment account. You do it once and it keeps paying dividends.
Precisely. Set up your environment for success with those one-time decisions. For bad habits, you invert it. Make it difficult. Lock your cigarettes in a hard-to-reach safe, or unplug the TV and put the remote in a different room if you want to watch less. Add friction.
That actually sounds really effective. And then finally, law number 4, make it satisfying.
This is crucial because our brains are wired for immediate gratification. Delayed gratification is tough. So, how do you make the long-term benefits of a good habit feel immediate? One classic method is a habit tracker. Think Jerry Seinfeld and his don't break the chain method of writing jokes every day. A visual streak is incredibly motivating.
Oh, I love habit trackers. Seeing that chain of X's or check marks just makes you want to keep it going. It's a tiny, immediate reward in itself.
It really is. And you can add immediate small rewards. Maybe you play your favorite song only after you've finished your workout, or you allow yourself 10 minutes of gaming after a study session. Something small that you look forward to right after the desired behavior.
That's smart. And for those really tough habits, there's the habit contract, right? Where you make a deal with someone for accountability.
Yes, a habit contract is incredibly powerful. Write a deal with a friend or family member. For example, if I skip the gym twice in a row, I owe you 5,000 rupees. The social pressure and the immediate tangible consequence dramatically increase follow-through. It's basically making the bad habit unsatisfying.
That's brilliant, especially if it's a significant amount of money you actually don't want to lose. So these 4 laws, applied consistently, can really transform your life through tiny habits.
They absolutely can. And there are a few more advanced insights we should quickly touch on. One is the Goldilocks rule. Motivation peaks when a task is just on the edge of your current ability. Not too easy because then it's boring, and not too hard because then it's discouraging. It has to be just right to keep you engaged.
I can totally relate to that. If it's too easy, I get complacent. Too hard, and I just give up. It's finding that sweet spot of challenge. And what about the plateau of latent potential?
Ah, the plateau. This is where most people quit. You've been putting in the work for weeks, maybe months, and you feel like nothing is happening. You're not seeing the results yet. But this is where all that latent potential is building up, like our ice cube. You have to keep going, trust the process, and eventually you'll break through.
That's the 31 degrees Fahrenheit moment. You feel like giving up right before the big melt. So important to remember that. And the never miss twice rule.
It's simple but profound. Missing once is an accident. Life happens. But missing twice in a row, that starts to become a new habit. It's like you allow yourself one slip up, but you absolutely commit to getting back on track immediately after. Don't let one mistake derail your entire system.
That's a great safety net. It takes the pressure off being perfect, but it prevents you from completely falling off the wagon. And it reminds me of the idea that our genes and environment play a role.
Yes, genes load the gun, environment pulls the trigger. You want to choose habits that match your natural strengths and align with an environment that makes those habits easy to maintain. Don't fight against your natural inclinations or your surroundings more than you have to.
Wow! I mean, we've covered so much. From the math of tiny improvements to the psychology of identity and the practical steps of the 4 laws, it really comes down to that central idea, doesn't it?
It does. The most effective way to change your habits isn't to focus on what you want to achieve, but on who you wish to become. Your identity isn't something you're born with and stuck with, it emerges out of your habits. Every time you choose the good habit, you're casting a vote for that new identity. Do it enough times and that identity becomes true.
That's such a powerful takeaway. It's not about willpower, it's about making your desired identity the path of least resistance through consistent, tiny actions. It makes change feel less like a struggle and more like a natural evolution of self. Thank you so much for breaking this down, Adon. This has been incredibly insightful.
My pleasure, Angelina. And to all our listeners, remember, don't underestimate the power of that 1% improvement. Start small, be consistent, and watch those changes compound into something truly extraordinary. You are casting votes for who you want to be every single day. Make those votes count. We'll catch you next time.
Absolutely. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Keep those tiny habits going, and we'll see you on the next episode.